I just want to point out the screenshot that I provided you is completely fabricated.
Okay. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of Wick TV. Cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And gang, have we got a show for you tonight? Okay. Over the weekend, President Trump made a tweet where he quoted Napoleon, where he says this: "A man who saves his country violates no law." This has had quite the response from a wide variety of people, some calling it irresponsible rhetoric, some saying that it is more sinister, and still others saying it's not a big deal. Tonight, we're going to talk about it. What does it mean in this context? What did he mean in this context, if anything? And what, if anything, should be done about it? We're going to start with Soy Pill. Thanks for being here, Soy Pill. Give us what you got.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Wick. I'm the Soy Pill. I make videos on YouTube. I think Trump's tweet is, in complete isolation, no matter what, a dangerous statement to be made by the president. No one has unilateral domain over what serving your country is, and if they did, they would be king, and any and all things they determined to be for the common good would be legal. Now, it's not in complete isolation. This is in context of unprecedented power grabs by the executive branch, where Trump is trying to subvert congressional power, of delegating funds, making spurious arguments to change the Constitution through executive orders, and ignoring court orders by federal judges, as proposed by J.D. Vance and Project 2025. Now, one of my opponents, Rob Noor, has characterized this as Trump's mean tweet, which I want to make very clear, if true, would not be something that I was so up in arms about, because anyone who watches my stuff knows I actually like mean Trump. I think he's very funny. I like it when he puts Rosie O'Donnell on the spot. I like when he says only fat people drink Diet Coke, but I don't love when he puts out statements alluding to his erosion of the checks and balances of our democracy. Now, last night, Rob told me that no matter what Biden corruption happened in his eyes, it does not justify the actions of Trump if they are unconstitutional. So I hope, not optimistically, that by the end of this debate, I can get Rob to agree that what Trump is doing is unconstitutional, or at least get him to admit that because of his grievances with the Biden administration, he would be okay with Trump doing pretty much anything now in retaliation. I at least want to make it, but last thing, I want to make it abundantly clear to everyone watching that regardless of political alignment, you should be upset by what the president is saying, unless you do want a single all-powerful king as the replacement for our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'm going to try to cut people off at about a minute. Okay, so we all agreed to this, like right before the show, like 30 seconds before we went live. So let's try. I'll try to enforce it. Audacity, give us what you got. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. But yeah, Audacity, go ahead.
Yeah, of course it's a poorly timed tweet with everything going on. But I'm not going to hold account to him tweeting out something. It's essentially innocuous. He fucking found a quote or something. I really like that quote, and then he tweeted it out, and now it's like it's everybody's bread and butter this morning is fucking talking about it. I've seen constant tweet arguments back and forth online. Hey, conservatives, justify this, and it's justify what? Justify what? This is a tweet. We can talk about actions. We can talk about the things the president's currently doing. We can talk about him violating TROs or whatever. We can talk about the whole judicial process going on around that and everything. But it's not a policy position. It's not an action. It's just a tweet. It's whatever dumbass thought he had when he tweeted it out. He tweeted it out, and that's now I guess what he was thinking at the time. He probably doesn't even fucking remember tweeting it at this point. So I'm not really like. This isn't something that I feel everybody should be losing their minds over. This shouldn't be something that's generating so many spurious challenges against conservatives and MAGA to go on about. So it's just not pertinent.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for being here, Audacity. Really appreciate you. We'll see where we go from here. Staxiums, you're up.
Hello. So I'm not familiar with our other conservative opponent, but I am pretty familiar with Rob Noor. So I just want to, before he shares his opening statements, I'll do it for him. So I will give his three main opening statements. He will talk about systemic issues Dems did that we also think is bad. 2, things that Dems did that was not against the law. And 3, random gish galloping and whataboutism about FISA warrants and Burisma. Anything but a basic awareness for the assault on the Constitution that Trump conducted. Yeah, but go ahead, Rob. Take it away.
Is that your opening statement? Okay.
That is my opening
You have
statement.
your choice. Rob, go ahead.
Staxium got all of that as he whacks it, listening to me on a daily basis, because he has to listen to someone with talent because none of you fucking lefties have any. So I'm glad you listened
Nice.
to Staxium. Soy Pill's the only reason that I'm willing to engage in this debate with good faith until I hear more from Staxium, which is most of the people on the left that want to talk about this had no problem with the corruption that we saw over and over again from Democrats. They were fine with the lawfare. They're fine with all of the things that would be corrupt, up to and including FISA warrants that were illegal, which of course Staxiums won't care about. He'll think that that's just a joke. But Trump's mean tweets and wanting to fight against the bureaucratic state of unelected officials that actually run the government, that's a bridge too far. That's a threat to our democracy. Much like Democrats do this all the time. They cared about kids in cages under Trump when there were 3 times more under Biden. They didn't give a shit. This is always the game they play. Now they're going to clutch their pearls over Trump's mean tweets and the fact that he froze funding for like 11 days, and now that's been reinstituted, because the truth is they're okay with the corruption in the bureaucratic state. They don't want legitimate democracy, just like they were happy with lying about Joe Biden's cognitive decline, like Wick here, and then gnashing their teeth when we pointed out correctly that it wasn't a democratic process that removed Joe Biden and installed people that were really running the show behind him to pick Kamala Harris, who was a joke. The American people know that these people are a joke. We'll talk about the far greater corruption that the Democrats did that most of the people don't give a shit about, and I'll give my thoughts that I don't really like this tweet from Trump.
Okay. Well, with that, let's start. The floor is open. And
Cool.
you guys, again, if you have trouble getting in, just
Could I-
press it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Great.
please.
Could I don't know how to address the my other conservative opponent. Could I get your
Audacity. His name's Audacity.
Oh, Audacity. I apologize.
Yeah,
Audacity. So yeah, no, you're good. It says couldn't think of a new name on your Discord, so cool.
Yeah, I got admin in the Wickord.
I see. All right.
I
Audacity.
get now, but
Yo, can I-
continue. Yeah.
I'd love to respond to something that you said, basically that he has already forgot about it and then it's kind of contextless. It's kind of just like a tweet. I do want to say that he not only tweeted this, he also doubled down on this on Truth Social. I can pull up the details if you're not familiar with it, but Newswire posted, I guess, on Truth Social, judge rules Trump admin defying court order to release billions in grants. And then Donald Trump posted again this quote, he who saves his country violates no law, with the background of Napoleon on it. So it doesn't seem like he's forgotten about it. It seems like he's doubled down on it a little bit. And policy-wise, he is referring to very specifically defying court orders. Do you feel like that might change your statement, or do you still stand by what you said?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely evidence that he's doubling down on it, if you want to present it that way. But in terms of actual effort that he's putting forward for whatever his policy position is, it doesn't convince me, because we know he's currently in action right now with courts. He's currently in action right now with combating the adversarial proponents that are coming after him for the decisions that he's making. Now, let me also kind of rectify, I'm not necessarily a full conservative. I'm a registered independent, but I still see this as not something indicative of any action he's planning to take. He's not going to full on violate court orders outside. Oh, Jesus. He's not going to full on violate court orders. He's going to go through the legal process of challenging what's coming.
So he
forward.
wouldn't violate the law when he said, I'm not violating the law? He wouldn't violate the law? That's not what he's referring to?
Right.
In this statement, so you're saying in this statement, he who saves his country violates no law. He is not referring to violating the law.
Now, I
Just to
can
be
tell you,
super
I
clear?
can tell you what he's saying. He feels correctly, in my opinion, that there is lawfare.
Rob,
being
it
used
was my
against-
question.
Well, okay, not really conservative. Go at it, Audacity. Have at it.
I mean, no, he's not violating a law. We are at a point where there is a challenge presented. It's not necessarily a violation of a law as we know yet, until a court or the appeals process goes through and says, hey, actually, you're violating law. So
do you think he's violating the law when he, subverts the Impoundment Act, or when he fires attorney or inspector generals without giving the 30-day notice to Congress, or is that not violating the law?
In regards to the 30 days of firing inspector generals, I don't really have a lot of information on that. But as it comes to executive action, executive authority, and the way he exercises it, he has been met with challenges, and he seeks to meet those challenges. I don't think it's a violation of the law yet, unless it actually comes down to, hey, Trump, you actually don't have this authority, so you need to cut it out. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway.
That's what's happening. It's explicitly written. You have to give 30 days notice and substantive reasoning to fire these inspector generals, which he did not do. And with the Impoundment Act, he has to do some sort of statement through Congress to notify them about what funds he is freezing and for how long, which he also didn't do, which are both violations of the law. So even out of context, I'm surprised you would even defend the president of the United States saying, hey, I can do whatever I want because if what I want is what's good for the country, then it's not illegal. But then if you're also taking into account the context of all of the court orders that he's trying to defy and the illegal acts that he's done, it's clear that he's doing this in response to people pushing back on his power grab.
Is the public position of him not talking about how he thinks this is fraud, waste, and abuse or anything like that not determinative of why he would fire or hold funds?
Wait, hold on. But that's not an excuse to break the law, right? Like if you disagree with the law, there is a process to do so. It's called appealing. You can appeal judge orders. You can appeal laws. There is a process to go through what you consider fraudulent or dangerous laws, and that doesn't mean openly breaking them while you do so.
But
otherwise, that's just blatant authoritarian.
Do you wonder why they just want to talk to you? Has that crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, because I don't know a lot.
Right. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that
Rob, go and
interesting?
defend it.
Now
Well,
listen, I'll happily jump
if
in.
Audacity can't
I only
answer, go ahead.
No.
If he's such an easy target, why not you jump in with us?
Well,
and
well,
say,
yeah,
I
go,
just
go, go ahead.
tried. I just tried, and he didn't have a problem with it. Now,
Let him
I
speak.
wish that I could be talking to people that knew what they were talking about. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with you two fucking morons, so we'll give it a go anyways. So, yeah, there are things that technically Trump's doing that's against the law as written, though there's questions we have to say about what the law really is. For example, if we go to the Supreme Court decision, it seems that Trump can't be criminally charged for anything that he's doing in his official capacity, and all of these things would be certainly things that were done in official capacity. In addition, we could talk to people that have said this in the past that probably you have more an affinity for, like Thomas Jefferson. It's talking about how things that occur that we think are anathema to actually the saving of the country or the moral will of a higher power are things that would mean that we can't morally or culpably say you're violating that higher law if you're doing those things in good faith. Having said that, I don't like this tweet. I think that it is in bad spirit, and I'll fully concede that there are things that are written down that are supposed laws, such as you have to give 30 days before you fire these people, that it would seem that the Trump administration did violate. These things are things that will be questioned as to whether or not they're legal anyways, and many of them I think will be overturned by the Supreme Court if they get there. It's clear that these are being issued for lawfare reasons, and the Democrats on this panel would have said almost nothing when it came to the far more severe corruption that we've seen from presidents, not just Democrats, by the way, Republicans, such as the illegal wars that Congress is supposed to declare war, but we see like the invasion of Iraq and Libya and other, let me finish, other places that those more serious violations of the Constitution that actually led to serious loss of lives, including of American citizens. And most people won't have as much to say about that, or they'll defend the people that did that, like George W. Bush, Barack Obama, etc. But they'll gnash their teeth about, but it's so illegal that Trump fired people 30 days early. It's so illegal that he froze funds for 11 days or 15 days or whatever it was before a court decided that, hey, you can't do that. And now we're at the injunction phase of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, real quick,
Okay.
I want to jump in. Rob, you did call me a fucking moron. And I just want to point out, I do appreciate that in your intro, you mentioned me. And the reason why you're willing to have this is because in good faith, I called out Biden corruption. Although I want to come clean as good faith. Just for context for everyone, I asked Rob in response to the tweet, he had a little thing saying, hey, don't give them this, don't say this is bad because they ignored Biden corruption. I asked him, and it seems like you agree with this, if this was in isolation, if we're ignoring the Biden corruption, or if we even just say all of it's true, just verbatim, you would still have a problem with the president doing this sort of stuff, correct? Like that was not a mischaracterization.
I believe, I can't remember exactly what I said to you, but I believe I made a point about how every president in my lifetime has violated the Constitution and there are levels to it. It would be my preference, and it's worth criticizing anytime any elected official up to and including the president does do something that I think is against the Constitution. I think there is merit in that. There's obviously a severity scale in it.
Real quick, specific, but a president saying whatever I do, if it's for the good of the country, is not illegal. I think you kind of said, like,
Sure.
Like you're kind of saying it now. Yeah, it's not something you necessarily would agree with. You probably have a big problem with Biden did it, right? Or just if anyone did this.
No, wait.
I have to add. Well, I just want to get a yes or no
Let me
on that, like, whether or
clarify.
not you
Let me
have-
clarify your question. You're saying it's Trump just saying this isn't illegal, but I don't like it, and I probably wouldn't like it if Biden said something like that.
If a person, I'm just saying, just on the very base level,
Probably.
a person saying I'm okay with whatever I deem is okay for the country is not illegal, no matter what the law is probably something you wouldn't agree with in general.
That's true. I wouldn't like that if Trump said it, Biden said it, Obama said it.
Because that's all I wanted to do with my question. You hadn't answered it until I showed my hypocrisy. I just want to point out the tweet, the screenshot that I provided you is completely fabricated. If you look at it, the views are 7, the likes are 23. I just edited it so you would answer my question.
Okay, so then
if
I will
you're
say
only
this.
here for good faith, I want you to let you know I totally deceive
So
you.
then
Yeah.
I'm out of this panel then. Fuck you. I'm serious. Either you're gone or I'm gone. Wick, it's up to you. I'm serious.
I have no idea what just
I
happened.
agreed to do this. I agreed to have this good faith discussion with him because he sent me a tweet that supposedly said that he was calling out corruption from Biden. He's not. So I'm not dealing with this panel other than to insult this fucking idiot the whole time. So it's either me or him, or you just let me completely eschew the topic and insult this asshole.
Or we could have the discussion.
No.
Well, Rob, if it'll get you to say,
Just
it'll get
wait.
you to say. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. This is what Rob to say. It'll get Rob to say. Hold on. Let me
defend your
I
point.
think that Biden.
Rob,
I'm
it's
not
up to you.
listening to
You
a
can throw
fucking
a
word
fit,
that this
or
guy
you
says.
can have a discussion.
I am not listening to a fucking word this guy says, period. He's muted on my end. I can't hear him. You can pick me when it's my turn to
Audacity,
talk.
do you want to
and
have
I'll
a conversation?
Talk, but I'm not going to respond to someone that lied about that to come into here. I'm not doing
That's
it.
hilarious.
Can you someone show me what he said?
Yeah,
So here's what he's referring to.
So I'll tell you exactly what. I'm uninterested in having a conversation with people demanding that I call out Trump's mean tweet, who supported the corruption done against Trump, including up to and including actual admission of illegal FISA warrants. Soy Pill sent me a message.
So you're like one of those people in the DGG who don't care about what Destiny did.
No, Wick. I'm
exactly the same.
No, Wick. I'm
Please
not
understand
like the DGG people. I'm not like the
you
people like you.
You are. You just
no.
made
I
the
appreciate
exact same
listen,
argument.
I appreciate
the exact same
I
argument.
appreciate your
Other people have done it worse.
Wick,
so you
Wick.
know why it's okay when we do
Wick,
this, right?
please. I know you're just a DGG dick suck. You have no talent. Progressive
Bro,
Victory Pack.
you got
hey,
these
bro.
Hey,
You have no
hey,
talent. You have no
if he
talent
destroys
other
the
than getting shit
You do
pushed
not
by
care
Progressive
if he shreds the
Victory.
Constitution because you are an un-American.
I understand the need to filibuster as you always do as a host. I
You're
can
a
talk
traitor
over
to
you. I
America.
don't give a
You do
fuck.
not deserve
You can call me a traitor
anything
all
that
you
you
want.
have.
You are a
You do not
destiny orbiting
deserve
dick
to
suck
live in this
who got
country,
paid
and I
by
hope that you
Progressive
get
Victory
deported.
Pack, and they gave you an audience
Because
as
you are a
limited as it
corrupt,
is because you are
un-American,
fucking shit. You're
unconstitutional
incapable of
ass
doing these
who
things
does
on your
not
own,
care
and so now you
about
have to
America,
constantly
who does not
filibuster
care
and
about
talk
the
over people
Constitution,
when
who
they
does
come
not
onto your
care
panels
about
because
the
you're
values.
fucking worthless.
You have no
You
values.
can't even moderate
You
a
have
debate.
no
You
morals.
constantly bring
You
guests
don't
on
have
that are
no
bad faith
argument.
and shit. They
The
can't
only
defend
thing
their
you can do
positions, and so
is
you feel the
shit
need to
out your
debate for
mouth.
them,
You
just like
can
when you had to
lie,
try to
you
cover
can
for Connor Boy and
obfuscate,
Brianna
you
Wu the
can
last time we
cover
were on.
for
You're someone who's
unconstitutional
literally a sack of
actions
shit
for people
who
who
can't
can
actually
do
have
the
this show
absolute
and that
worst.
wants to talk
You
over
can
people
violate
because
the
you can't
Constitution
allow people
over
that are
and
actually
over
able to
and
make these
over
points
again,
have a
and you will
voice. You
take it
can't.
up the
So,
ass.
we'll see you later. Well, gentlemen, that was a hell of a panel. Yeah. So, fuck them. I will never be dealing with Wick again. I'll not be dealing with Soy Pill. Fuck them. The point I'm making that Wick's filibuster overing is, no, I'm not going to listen to people that defended corruption demand that I answer for corruption. Yes, I will absolutely talk to people that are interested in having a good faith discussion. As is evidenced by the fact that my opening statement said I have to give my tip to Soy Pill. That's why I came here, because it's clearly someone that cares about corruption. He sent me the tweet showing that. I'll do it. So the idea that I'm unwilling to have this conversation is clearly bullshit. That was why I was there. This guy then admitting, aha, I got you in here by lying to you. I don't have to deal with it. Now, we'll get into that topic. I guess I'll talk about it on my own. But then first, let's talk about Wick. Here's the truth of Wick. Wick is a no-talented, terrible moderator, terrible debater, who only has an audience because he was paid by Progressive Victory Pack and they sent people to collaborate with him. He is absolute dog shit. He's someone that desperately wanted to ride the coattails of the Wicks of the world, of the Destinies of the world. He's no good at what he does. And every time that I come on his panel, it results in the same thing. It's a panel set up that's a bunch of people against me. I end up smoking them. And then Wick has to use his authority of his moderator to jump in and filibuster and talk over people. It's always the case. Always the case with him. He is absolute dog shit at what he does. Anytime Wick wants to have a one-on-one debate with me on just about any topic politically, I would be happy to embarrass that dumb shit. Would be easy to do, as he knows. That's why he has to hide. And you see a lot of other no talented people like this. I won't mention any names, but they have to hide behind the I'm just the moderator because they get their ass kicked anytime they actually try to do some sort of debate. I'm not going to engage in a panel with people that have blatantly lied to me in order to get me to come in. Fuck you, I don't care. Have your fucking panel, Wick, without me. You could have the one guy who's not really a conservative and doesn't know much about what's going on debate the two lefty losers. Now, what Soy is trying to do, he thinks his big kid is, aha, I got Rob to admit that I didn't like Rob saying that. Or Trump saying that. Yeah, I told my audience that all the time. This is what these people don't get. I criticize Trump all the time. All the time. I don't like this tweet from Trump.